Hey guys, it's Crispy. I'm here to do a movie review for the film HeBGB TV. It is a independently made anthology movie shot in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, mostly there as far as I know. And I saw this at the Philomoka 3 weeks ago. And funny story about that, I actually it was like a 2 day festival type thing. I just went to this event and I heard about it from Instagram because on Instagram I would get these tapes. I like buy tapes from Instagram because they're pretty cheap. And I saw that one of the guys that I buy from on Instagram it was gonna be there. It was a guy named Bloody Knife Video, and he put on advertisement in one of his stories, and I'm like, God damn, I'm going there. That's in Philly. That's not far from where I am. Fuck. And I went there, and I thought I was gonna see him and all that, and it was just this like really fun festival. It was like like bro, like people were partying. There was free beers. It was crazy. It was really fun. And on the second day, it was a little bit more tame. There was a screening for this movie, HeBGB TV. More of the same thing, people buying tapes. That's what I came there for originally, was just to get tapes. And on my second day being there, I was walking from the Ritz 5 because I went straight to Philly, went to the Ritz 5 and saw Triangle of Sadness. Then I walked to Philomoka, and then I met the filmmakers, like just sort of like unexpectedly. I saw that a seat was open and I asked them if I can sit there. They're like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, cool. What you guys doing? They're like, oh, we're promoting HeBGB TV. I'm like, oh, y'all the promoters? No, we're the fucking filmmakers. They come, and talk to me about the movie, and like, they don't give out spoilers. Like the movie hasn't happened, like the movie hasn't started yet. And they were like, one of the main stars is upstairs. That was Jake McClellan. But who was there was Adam Lenhart and Eric Griffin. They were there, and Eric's girlfriend, I think, was with them. And I talked with all of them, mainly Eric's girlfriend and him. I talked to them like for like an hour and a half. We were talking about movies and video production and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun. I don't really get a lot of chance to be able to like talk about that stuff, so that was really cool to be able to do that. Um, so yeah, you just shot the shit with them, and then pretty soon the movie started. I watched the movie, and then based upon their personalities, I was really able to tell that these people really do love filmmaking. They love the aspects of doing all that stuff. They love not only the video production aspect of it, and making sure that the movie looks good. They had like the right lens for it for the budget that they had. It was really well made. Like they didn't really have much, so they were able to just make nothing out of so much more. And I got a little bit more context out of this. They said that originally this HeBGB TV stuff was actually just video segments, like these short video segments, and they would put them in Halloween parties. Like, so they would go to like places like Zoetropolis or bars, and then they would have Halloween parties, and in the background they would play these segments, like Frankenstein throwing up blood and mustard on a hot dog, and they like make these fake retro TV commercials that are on, and like these TV segments, and like the light of Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark, but with like an adult twist to it, like this grisly type of adult sick sense of humor type thing, but it's humorous. It's not off-putting. It's very lighthearted in that sense. And yeah, a lot of these segments are acted out by Jake McClellan himself, and he dresses up like in drag and stuff and all that type of fun shit. Like, did you like? I'm pretty sure a lot of people go to bars and like, celebrate Halloween or Thanksgiving, whatever the fuck, and they have this type of fun. And they were doing all these video segments and shooting them with the equipment that they had, and they were having really good reception with this process. But then I forgot to mention the detail that this was pre-COVID. This was like around 2018, 2019, leading to 2020, and then the lockdown happened. And then all of their creativity and all the way that they were kind of living doing this stuff, it just died. And they were like, what do we do with what we have now? Like we just have this, and there's probably never gonna be a live performance ever the way it looks like we're never gonna be able to go outside. So they decided like, hey, we have a lot of open location. Why don't we just shoot a movie, and then maybe we can just distribute this like digitally so people can enjoy it while they're at home, and we can still make something out of what we have. So they decided to make a movie, and that's what they did. This is what HeBGB TV came out of. It's just sort of the pandemic and them shooting a movie, and they shot a movie because they wanted to fucking make one. They made one that's really, really creative. It's fucking amazing. I like it. I'm probably giving it a little bit way too much. Like this isn't like for me. This isn't the best thing since sliced bread, but it's definitely a really good time. Like I said, it has the light. It has the influence of like Rocky Horror Picture Show. I really got Tim Curry vibes from Jake McClellan at first, and I was like, this guy's a really big Tim Curry fan. I could tell. Like if I had talked to him about Tim Curry, I'd be like, yo, this like he's the shit, right? Yeah, he's the shit. But there is a segment in this movie called The Night Snacker. And that showed to me that Jake McClellan is a great actor because throughout the whole film, he's playing these really eccentric characters that, like they're just wacky, kooky and shit. I'm like, all right, this guy's like, he can show out. He can definitely like act up and shit. But in this segment, The Night Snacker, he's really subdued and he's flawed. He doesn't have any confidence, but he wants to better himself and he's willing to do that by any means necessary. And just pulling off a detailed actor like that shows me that dude Jake has a lot of skill as an actor, and I really look forward to these guys making more stuff later in the future. I really hope Jake himself also like is able to like really get into like always find a good time into performing, because I did talk to him after the movie and I told him how great of an actor he is, and he was just like, hey man, all this great, all this acting that I do really just comes from me like wanting to play Michael Myers when I was a kid. Like so like that's all. The other thing, he's really good with movement and timing, and he says that just comes from the desire and from his love in horror movies and just watching movies in general and being able to reenact them as a kid. Like he just already had practice from the passion that he had from being a child, and that was really cool to hear from him. And yeah, I think every other person that's involved in this movie was pretty much in the same spirit. They were doing this exactly for the love and the genuity that they have for wanting to make movies and make something that's not only enjoyable for the public, but something that's enjoyable for them to make. I do have something to say. Sometimes there are some segments here that kind of feel like it takes the pacing off of this movie a little bit. Like the Frankenstein bit comes up a little bit too much than I'd like. And there is a segment that I feel bad to say this because I love Eric Griffin, and he said that this was his segment. There's a segment called "Don't Touch That Dial," and I felt like that took me out of it like a lot, and that's probably like my least favorite segment. But at the same time, I thought that the editing was really great, and I just think that he's not that he's a brand new filmmaker or anything, but he's still a filmmaker that's progressing, and I'm really sure that he's gonna have a whole lot more skill later. And really, that was just a segment for the film to just bring it into another segment. But at the same time, like that segment kind of went a little too long for me. Like at first, I was like, all right, this is cool because it has this really cool song, like "Don't touch that dial." Don't touch that dial, but it just for me it went a little too long. But I think that's like the most criticism that I had. um I heard some people thought that Night Snacker was a little too long, but I actually really liked the Night Snacker personally, because of what I said, that I thought Jake McClellan just really had like really good acting chops just to be able to show me that he's able to do one thing and then something else entirely was just incredible for me. And it made me really excited for Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and like knowing that these guys are out here not far, and I could probably look out for them in the future. Personally, like what I'm gonna do for everyone in this channel who's subscribed already, I'm gonna put a link into their website because their movie's not really accessible right now. Like they're touring this movie as we speak right now in November 2022. But pretty soon, I'm pretty sure that they're going to release this movie digitally and on Blu-ray sometime in the future. And I recommend that you guys keep this website that I'm gonna put on the description below and save it somewhere. Just keep going into it, see any updates that they have. If they release this movie digitally, I recommend that you rent it and give it a try. And if you really love the movie, pay for it. If they have a Blu-ray release, get it. And if you're into movies like Rocky Horror Picture Show and like, you know, things of that, like that is, you know, able to be experienced live, and you can have a really good time live and interact with the movie as it's playing. You like those type of movies, you'll love HeBGB TV. It is really accessible, and done for the budget that it was done for is really impressive that these guys can pull something like this off, and I look forward to them doing something in the future. And yeah, I'm gonna give this movie 3 bacon strips out of 5. It is tasty. It is a strictly tasty movie, and it was a real big surprise for me, because I wasn't walking in expecting to see this movie. I went in initially for fucking videotapes, and then I just like met these really talented filmmakers. I got to talk to them briefly, but at the same time, you know, it was just a beautiful thing to be able to watch a movie with these really passionate filmmakers that, you know, pulled something off like this, and just the story behind it, like that they didn't even mean to make a movie in the first place. You know, they just made it, and it came out to be pretty good for what it was. It was definitely entertaining. Not even for what it was, it's exactly what it is, an anthology movie, um, done for like not even a shoestring budget, like just like the budget of what they had. Probably went to like Wise Markets and just bought a bunch of shit, and then just came back and just made a movie, and still was able to make me laugh and be entertained. There's another person in this movie that I forgot to mention, and his name is Andrew Bowser, and I think a lot of you guys probably heard of him before. He's the weird Arby's guy that that he got really viral on YouTube, and just on the internet they made memes about him, and he's like the I don't know guy. Like, he ticks a lot and goes on fucking psychobabble tirades. So they were able to get him in this movie, and I don't even know how the fuck they did that. Like, they said that they just called him up, and he was like, all right. And I'm like, really? That's what the fuck you did? You just call the guy up? You can, or they emailed him. uh yeah, this fucking crazy. This movie's really crazy, really nuts, and I wish I can go into more detail what this movie is about. Really, basically, all it is this cable box that is, it's HeBGB TV, and it's sold all across the states, and these people buy this cable box, and the thing that's in the cable box is what you're experiencing in the movie. These segments, it's sort of in the light, like I said, Rocky Horror Picture Show, but it's also got a mix of Robot Chicken in there. So the anthologies are kind of like worked into that way. And as you're experiencing the movie, you're also experiencing the people in the movie that are watching it through the cable box of HeBGB TV. Their brains are rotting as you're watching like the movie. And it's almost like trying to give you that same type of experience, like make you feel like you're losing your memory and kind of losing your mind while you're watching the movie. And it's a really creative concept, to try to put people into the movie in that light and just have fun with it. And that's what sometimes these independent movies are kind of missing, is that fun aspect. People try to be way too goddamn serious, and not just let loose, you know. And then when they let loose sometimes in these movies, they let a little too loose and forget about the importance of making the movie and actually making it convincing for people to watch. And these guys, they have an incredible balance and just a great range into what they want to do and what they brought out into this movie. Like I said, again, I give this movie 3 bacon strips out of 5. I'm gonna put the links on the video below, like of HeBGBTV.com. I'm gonna put on the HeBGB TV YouTube video, the YouTube channel, and I'm also gonna put Andrew Bowser's YouTube on the bottom too, because I think that guy's really fucking funny. People should just subscribe to him because I think he's awesome. Other than that, I'm gonna just leave the video at that. Tell me what you thought. Comments below. Please like the video. Dislike it if you like. It's okay. All good vibes. HeBGB TV. Crispy. Love you guys.